Welcome to the Edgeworth Echoes podcast, discovering Edgeworthstown, a hidden gem of Irish history.
Welcome to another edition of the Edgeworth Echoes podcast. This is your host, John. In previous episodes, we have spoken about how important the topic of education was to the Edgeworths, and in particular to Maria. From her involvement with the Practical Education Project, through her teaching of her younger siblings, her work with her brother in his school, and her family's attempts to start a national education programme, Maria has been to the forefront of education locally, nationally and internationally. So it is no surprise then that there are schools that were named after her, and in this episode we are looking at three of these schools. One historical school established in the United States, a second historical school with the same name but different location, also in the United States, and one modern school established in Ecuador. We begin in Pittsburgh in the state of Pennsylvania in 1825, where Mary Gould Oliver established a seminary for the education of young women and called it the Edgeworth Seminary in honour of Maria Edgeworth. The school was relocated to Braddock's Field and then in 1836 to Sewickley Bottom, an area that would later become Edgeworth Borough. It seems that locating the school in Sewickley was influenced by the beauty of the surrounding area, as these two counts describe.
Many new advantages have been secured by the transfer of the seminary from Braddock's Field. The scenery around is equally fine, the air full and salubrious, the supply of water no less pure and wholesome. It was a strangely picturesque old house, densely shaded by forest trees, with a repose about it, deep and unbroken save by the low, gurgling tones of a stream which swept through the lawn, or the dash of its waters over some projecting fragment of stone. Lofty hills rose suddenly up from the shores of La Belle Rivière and wreathed themselves around the lovely vale of its location. The emerald lawn, glittering with its golden dandelions, as the blue arch above, with silvery stars, stretched away to the pebbly beach, which framed in the sparkling waves, but whose freshness and murmurs, springing up on the wings of the passing breeze, were wafted away over the valley. In the rear of the mansion, the lawn extended to the base of the hills along which the turnpike Beaver Road leads to a neighbouring city.
The school had an impressive curriculum and attracted students from as far away as Tennessee, Georgia, eastern Pennsylvania and New York. Its faculty and alumni contributed significantly to the region's cultural and social sphere. Several prominent families sent their daughters there, and the school's leadership was recognised for promoting a mild and persuasive system of discipline. The school played a key role in local religious life. The Presbyterian Church of Sewickley was organised at the seminary, and it hosted religious services after the Shields Presbyterian Church was founded in 1864. In 1849, then President of the United States Zachary Taylor visited the school. A seminary is referenced in literature, such as the novel Early Engagements and Florence, a sequel, written by a former student providing period descriptions of school life. The school thrived for many years until a fire in 1865 burned down most of the school. The following description was written by a former pupil, Agnes Caldwell Way.
The building was burned February 11th, 1865. The fire being Saturday, the students had to be housed over Sunday with the families in the neighborhood, returning to their homes on Monday, as there were not any Sunday trains those days.
After the fire, the building was no longer used as a school, even though it was rebuilt and became a residential property. Over the years it was owned by various people, before, sadly, being burned again in 2010. The Edgeworth name continued to be used in the area, with the railroad station being named Edgeworth Station, Seminary Lane became Edgeworth Lane, and part of the township became known as Edgeworth Borough. As I mentioned earlier, this was not the only Edgeworth seminary. The Edgeworth Female Seminary was an all-female institution founded by Governor John M. Moorhead in 19th century Greensboro, North Carolina. His decision to establish the seminary was based on his daughter's experiences with their teacher, Mary Ann Hoy. In 1840, Moorhead purchased a large tract of land extending from his own homestead, Blandwood. At his own expense, he constructed a 4-storey building that would serve as a school upon its completion that year. He hired Hoy to be the principal. Despite being financially unsuccessful, Edgeworth became a popular girls' school for families throughout the South. The school was closed during the Civil War, with both Union and Confederate forces using it as a hospital. It was reopened as a school in 1868, before being burnt down in 1872. For our next school, we take a trip to South America and the country of Ecuador. Ecuador is a country in western South America bordering the Pacific Ocean at the equator, for which the country is named. Ecuador encompasses a wide range of natural formations and climates, from the desert-like southern coast to the snow-capped peaks of the Andes Mountains to the plains of the Amazon Basin. The largest city in the country is Quito. It is in this city that we find the Maria Edgeworth Educational Unit, located in the suburb of Chilos Valley. Chilos Valley is a scenic valley located just east of Quito, Ecuador. It offers a milder climate and a quieter, more suburban lifestyle compared to the capital's urban centre. Founded in 1988, it offers education from preschool to secondary school. Its educational approach is based on providing a comprehensive education to its students, promoting both academic and personal and social development. While there is no direct historical connection between Maria Edgeworth and her family and Ecuador, the school's name symbolises a global admiration for her contributions to education reform and children's literature. Rather than relying on fanciful tales or dogmatic instruction, Maria Edgeworth urged rational, age-appropriate explanations and fostered critical inquiry through conversation, narrative and association of ideas. This aligns with the Quito School's focus on dialogue, student voice and the development of reasoning skills. It was wonderful to discover the way Maria's ideas in education have spread across the world. In her own time, her works were translated into French, German and Spanish, and her ideas spread through the United States and in modern times to South America. So this brings us to the end of another episode of Edgeworth Echoes podcast. Thanks very much for listening, and we hope you to spread the word and share with as many people as you can. Thank you. If you are interested in learning more about the Society and the history they preserve, please visit www.mariaedgeworthcentre.com. You can sign up to our newsletter, book tours, learn about our annual literary festival and read up on some of the remarkable people who have links to our town.
This has been the Edgeworth Echoes podcast, rediscovering history.